So I struggled with what to title my video. I didn't know if I should title it Holler Boy Records signs artist who did a video with a guy accused of the RAPE, or should I title it Upchurch does collab with convicted sex offender and person accused of murder? Yeah, I guess you forgot doing that video with Boosie, huh? Did you forget all about that, Ryan? I mean, since we're going to do the guilt by association thing, Boosie's got quite the past, doesn't he? There, Ryan. Not only is he accused of murder through his gangbang game, his gang banging days, and not the kind of gang bang on Pornhub, but the kind of gang bang where you kill people and sell dope. Okay, that kind of gang banging, and he forgot about he hired a grown woman to rape his 12-year-old son and bragged about it. I mean, there's just all kind of stuff we could talk about, right? Since we're going to do the guilt by association thing. So yeah, I struggled with what to title my video, but let's listen to this. Let's listen to your desperate attempt to try to damage this kid because he simply wanted to take his career to the next level. Something he's perfectly entitled to do. He's not the, he didn't sign a lifelong contract with you to be under your thumb for the rest of his life. He's allowed to manage his own career. And just because you don't like where he's taking his career, that doesn't mean it's not okay. It is okay. He can do that. And but yeah, let's listen to this pathetic. You know, since there's nobody over there anymore that's critiquing you or giving you any advice or trying to do anything to protect your image, let me do it for you. This doesn't look good for you, Ryan. This makes you look small and very insignificant and desperate.
Well, if you're watching this video right now, this is the moment where Chase will never hit a top 20 on the fucking charts ever again.
Nonsense. Nobody in the music industry cares what Ryan Upchurch has to say. Nobody.
You didn't because you're fucking dumb. My whole career is fucking done.
Yeah.
You think after all the shit that I've been through the past fucking few years, being in court, spending over $1 million in court for no fucking reason.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. That's not true. Okay. Those promoters that are suing you, that's a reason. They have a reason to sue you. It's not for no reason. You said you were going to do a concert. They rented a venue. They contracted light and sound, ticket people, concession stand people, parking lot attendant people, and you welched. You just were a no show, and just put the hose. Just hosed them over good, right? And then so they're out thousands and thousands of dollars. And you said it was because you had to go to didn't know you didn't know when you'd have to go to court. Everybody knows that's bullshit, except for Crack Squad. Crack Squad is low IQ, gullible fools that believe everything you say. But the rest of society knows better. We know when you have to go to court months ahead of time. You have plenty of time. And there ain't a court in the land, especially a civil case, that wouldn't reschedule if you asked them, because they certainly would reschedule if you ask them. So if you try to say that it was because Nicole Arbor was taking you to court, you had to cancel these two concerts. Okay. And then when you showed up in court, you tried to say it was because your asthma. You told Crack Squad it was because of Nicole Arbor. You told the courts it was because of your asthma, and you couldn't prove either. So yeah, they're suing you for good reason. They lost a bunch of money just because you just didn't feel like gigging.
Everyone knows it. It's all out there for everyone to see. It's for no fucking reason. It's because people want to be somebody, and they've all wanted to attach to me. And then
Kylie Rodney's parents did not want to attach themselves to you at all. So when they haul your butt into court here in the very near future, it'll be for a good reason, because you spent 2 months telling your fans that they hoaxed the death of their child for GoFundMe money. And you sat on a panel for 2 weeks with a couple of other knuckleheads, literally just digging through people's personal business and sharing it and just causing all kind of innocent people just undue grief. You and your hallucination and your stupid low IQ crack squad believing every word of it. The 3 YouTubers went to California, hurt a child, and then went back a month later on a Yamaha scuba bike and scuba dived down to the car while Ellen DeGeneres' fake girlfriend is in a fake accident with fake burns all over her body. Yeah, whatever.
Be cool with me, and then shit on me, and then leave to boost them up, and it's literally fucking not worked for anybody.
Worked really good for Luke Combs. Luke Combs done very well. So is Kane.
And there's a reason for that. It's because you can't bullshit people like us, bro. You just can't.
You talking about Crack Squad? You could tell Crack Squad just about anything and they'd believe it. Crack Squad believes that the government is involved in covering up the death of this child nobody even knew about. Nobody even knew about this kid. Her parents are just like average people. She's like just some average kid that nobody ever heard of. And you have your Crack Squad believing that the government was involved in covering up the death of this like child nobody even knows for whatever god awful reason you can muster. But yeah, they'd believe just about anything. They're stupid. They're stupid people with stupid low IQs.
Do it. If you're bullshitting, people fucking know. Especially the kind of people that have been following me for the past 7 years.
Yeah, that amazing Crack Squad. Yeah, we see their comments. We see what they do to people. We see the way they troll people. We see the way they dox people. We see what they do on your behalf. Everybody knows.
You know why that is? Because in people like me and the people watching this video, in our life, there ain't no fucking easy way out. So when we've been doing it the hard way the whole time and we are proud of it, and then you try to shit on it, that's when you get...
I get so tired of this shtick, okay? You're not the... You haven't worked hard for a long time. You haven't had to. And it's, you're born with amazing talent. And that's a good thing. But now you actually want to punish Chase Matthews for wanting to use his talent to the best of his ability. And it's just laughable. It's laughable.
Get the shit thrown at you, motherfucker. Ain't no shame in our game, dude. We've been bullshitters and we've been bullshitted. But
Yeah.
guess what? We know.
Yeah, that Yamaha scuba bike, that was quite the bullshit story, wasn't it? Yeah, and the parents were downloading all the photos of the girl off the internet and editing them and putting them back to throw you off. So, Brian Laundrie's dad looked like Kylie's grandpa. Yeah, we know.
Know how to shovel bullshit now, don't we? Now let me help you pull your big fucking jug head out of your fucking asshole so I can remind you how a holler boy is supposed to act. Now let me remind you who the fuck I am and how the fuck I do things. So let's go back.
Yeah, we know. You give somebody a gift and then you expect to have total control over their life. You do them a favor and now they owe you big time. Yeah, your gifts have consequences. So they're not really gifts. They're bribes or they're future payment for acts or whatever. But yeah, you don't hardly just give somebody something. It has conditions.
Back a little bit. When me and you first got together, you're riding around in this shitty fucking death trap of a Dodge Ram. And at the same time, I just went and bought one of the baddest motherfucking trucks in the world that I always fucking wanted. That black Ford Platinum. You talking how, man, this thing keeps breaking down on me and this, that, and the other. Do you think I wanted to give you the Ford Platinum? I really didn't. You know what wanted to give you the Ford Platinum? The heart that's inside my chest wanted to give you the fucking Ford Platinum. Because a holler boy doesn't want to see somebody struggling, trying to keep his truck running.
Hey, Chase, my advice to you is go buy a Ford Platinum and give it to this son of a bitch. Or if you still got the one he gave, give it back to him. You know, do what the guitar guy did. Just fucking give it back. You know, it's not worth the price.
Him to do what he's got to do. Your fucking dream was music. You can't do it riding around in a fucking big ass Dodge Ram with fucking dry rotted 38s on it that fucking the drive shaft keeps falling out of. How the fuck you supposed to get to a show driving that? You see that right there? That is a Holler Boy.
Call Uber.
It starts getting warm outside. Me and all my homies are out running around on fucking Harleys and stuff. And your bike breaks down. I had just went and bought me the first Supermoto I ever bought in my life. I was excited as fuck to have it. I was like, fuck yeah, I got a Super.
Wait a minute. You made a video saying that you thought you'd like it, and you turns out you really didn't like it. So you gave it to one of your friends because you got bored with it. Now that's what you said in a video about that Supermoto bike. I think that video's still up even. But now it's something else.
Supermoto, this is sick. I asked you one day, hey, you want to ride? Man, I can't. My bike's broke down. I sat there for a minute, and I was like, man, I just bought that Supermoto. I don't really want to give it away, but I mean.
Well, when you said in a video that, yeah, you just didn't really get the thrill out of it. You thought you would. It just didn't really do it for you. So you got bored with it, and so that's why you gave it to your buddy. Now, that's the video you made. But which one are we supposed to believe, this version or that version?
And, you know, the kid ain't got a fucking bike to ride. What did I tell you? I said, come get this Supermoto. You can have it. That's a Holler Boy, dude. And it ain't because.
So let's see. If you, the Holler Boy, somebody that can afford to buy stuff and give it away. Okay. Cool.
Because you was my artist, dickweed. This is who the fuck I am. And hey, younger kids out there, boys, girls, I want y'all to hear me when I say this. I want to tell y'all a story real quick before we go any further. This is my favorite example of what a Holler Boy is. And it's because of what was noticed, who the person was, and what was done, and what the person said back to me. I used to get up when I used to live on North Pool in the other house. I'd get up every morning. I'd sit in my chair upstairs, and I would watch outside. I would just look outside.
This is hard to watch.
My next door neighbor, I noticed he got up every morning, 5 o'clock, go to work, 5 o'clock, go to work, 5 o'clock, go to work.
Just like everybody on earth that has a job. Everybody. Okay. You go out on the road and there's just cars zooming everywhere at 5 o'clock in the morning, Ryan. And those are all people headed to work. Every house has an owner that has to earn money. Every car has an owner that has to earn money. You know, it's how the world works. Everybody gets up in the morning and goes to work. It's not unusual at all. It's very normal. I know you've been removed from that for about 7 years now. And it's easy to forget, but you know, if you're not a recording artist, you've got to get up in the morning and go to work, or you're going to be mooching. One of the two.
Every fucking morning, bunch of tools. Had all his work clothes on. 5 o'clock.
Well, why would he not have his work clothes on if he's going to work? I don't know.
Every morning.
It's Monday through Friday, most times Saturday. A lot of people got to work Saturday now. A lot of the because all of our factories are gone, thanks to NAFTA. We're a service company or a country. You know, our jobs are service jobs, restaurants and lawn care service and car repair service, and unfortunately, those stuff mostly happens on the weekend now. So a lot of people not only got to do Monday through Friday, but they're working Saturday and Sunday too.
One morning I go upstairs. I got my coffee. I'm looking out the window. I'll never forget this. It was a cloudy day and it was fucking drizzling rain. His car wasn't in the driveway. But you know where he was at 5 o'clock in the morning? He was sitting on the front porch with all of his tools and all of his work clothes, waiting for some other workers to come pick him up at 5 o'clock in the morning. A few days ago.
Yeah, I had I hired a lot of young guys that over the years, that didn't have a car when I hired them, and I'd pick them up on my way in, drop them off on my way home. Just something you do.
Go by, and all those days, he was on the front porch with all of his tools at 5 o'clock in the morning with no car in the driveway. The workers who came to pick him up every day came at the same time.
Well, okay.
You know why? Because even if they didn't hear from him, they would know that he was reliable enough that he would be
How do you know?
sitting on that porch waiting to go to work. One morning, they pulled
Maybe he owed them all money. Fuck, for all you know. You don't know.
up to get him. Hell, he would see them pull onto the damn street, and he would get up so they didn't even have to pull in the driveway. He just jumped in the truck.
That just sounds so normal to me, like something a normal person would do.
And they kept going around the block. As they pulled off and he went to work, I was like, man, this dude's been on it. He's been up every day with or with no car.
You know something, Ryan? That same scenario was playing out on the next street over, and on the next street over again, and on the next street over again, and in the next county, and in the next state, and in there's 360 some million people in the United States, and 78% of them get up and go to work every day.
Making it work. I thought to myself, what vehicle do I have that you can put work tools in, that's easy to work on, semi-cheap on gas, that runs good enough to get him to where he needs to go? The only vehicle I had, and everyone knows I keep vehicles that are in music videos. The only vehicle I could think of that I had that would fit that category of what he's doing was my old white Tahoe that's in the music video, Miss My Buddies. I drank my coffee. I went down to the tag place in Ashland City. I got a duplicate title. And when he got home, I gave him the title of that truck because he needed it more than I did. He told me, he was like,
you know something, you giving somebody a truck.
When I do get me something else, I just...
You giving somebody a truck would be the equivalent of me giving them $20. When you got mad money, that's not that big a deal, really. But yeah, hey, it's a nice thing. No, I'm not going to take it from you. That time you gave that homeless guy that van, that really touched me, man. I thought that was really cool. And the time you gave that girl that worked at Sonic, 10 grand, that really touched me, man. That was the Ryan Upchurch that, man, I dug the shit out of that guy. Yeah, I just don't know where he went.
I just give it back to you. And I was like, don't even worry about it. This eliminates that problem for you. You're one of these kind of people that...
He didn't have a problem. All right. Really, if you boil down to it, that his dudes were picking him up every day. I'm sure in a couple paychecks, he would have been able to get him a car. Not a big deal. Happens to people every day.
You deserve this shit. That's a holler boy. Somebody who does something for somebody, even though it's not beneficial for themselves. Out of the goodness of their heart, they know that it's beneficial for them.
And then throw it up in their face. And then throw it up in their face 2 months later if they do one single thing you don't agree with.
Them, so they do it anyways. Selflessness. And you can't fucking teach that, obviously. And you know what? Looking back now and knowing some of the shit that I do now, which we're about to get into here in 30 fucking seconds, I knew there was something up when I wasn't getting invited to none of these fucking meetings.
Well, I think, Ryan, it was because people were starting to see a change. People were starting to see a toxic, just some signs that maybe it's time to pull away.
Oh, and if you guys don't believe me, why don't you Google pictures of me in these fucking meetings with Chase? Why don't you tell them to come up with some pictures of me being in these fucking meetings?
Well, it's because they couldn't. I can promise you, without even talking to Chase, if you were to ask him, here's what you would hear. Well, every time we tried to get a hold of Ryan, we couldn't get a hold of him. when we did get a hold of him, he'd say he would be here and then he wouldn't show up, or he'd be 4 or 5 hours late. So we just finally quit asking. I guarantee you that'd be the answer we'd get. That they tried to include you, but you were always either too busy, wouldn't answer the phone, or you just didn't show up at all, or you showed up 3, 4 hours late. And nobody can build their, it's hard to build a career around your schedule. So, yeah, I bet you anything that would be the response we would hear.
Meetings with Chase. There's only 2 pictures you're going to see. The one where I'm already sitting in my motherfucking house with him beside me. That's it. That's not a goddamn meeting. That's me in my fucking house. The other picture you're going to see is me and Chase and like 4 other fucking people.
You know what other pictures we're not going to see? You at those 2 shows you were supposed to do with him and you didn't show up. Yeah, there's no pictures of you at his gold record show because you didn't show up. There's no pictures of you at his first concert because you didn't show up.
Guess what? That wasn't a meeting either. That was me meeting the people that he was going to be working with. So I guess I never got invited to any fucking meetings. Even when I come to him and said, yo, I want to be in these meetings too, bruh. I just live right here. I'm 15 minutes from Nashville. If you're having a meeting, call me. I'll come sit in.
Guarantee you they tried. And either A, you were going to get back with them and you didn't. Or B, they just couldn't get a hold of you. Or C, you said you'd be there and you didn't show.
Go find me a picture of me sitting in on a fucking meeting, bro. You're not going to fucking find one. And you want to know why I think I wasn't in on any of these talks and I didn't know what the fuck was going on, really? Because if I was in on these meetings and I knew some shit that was going on, County Line would not be on YouTube right now.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Fellas, do you want to know why it wouldn't be online right now? Fellas? Oh, man, y'all are about to fucking go nuts.
So, let me get this straight. You're about to tell us how Chase's career should be over because a kid he once was seen with committed a crime, a guilt by association deal. But I got to ask, Ryan, if that's the case, then why would you sign an artist that was in a video with a kid that was guilty of what that kid's supposedly guilty of if you knew that? So if Chase's career is over for being seen in a video with a kid that committed a crime, then your career ought to be over for signing a record deal with an artist that was seen in a video with a kid that committed a crime. See what I mean? See how that guilt by association works? And then we'll talk about Boosie when you're done.
Me too. So the co-star that's in the music video for County Line with Chase's buddy, yeah, you're not going to find any pictures on his Instagram of them together, but guess what? I'm about to show you a lot of them. That guy got arrested and ran from the cops because he raped a 13-year-old girl.
You know that Boosie guy that you just did a collab with on People's Champ? He is accused of murder, of a gang hit murder. He has openly admitted that he hired a prostitute to rape his own 12-year-old son, among multiple other things that Boosie is accused of. And that didn't stop you from featuring him on your new album, did it? There, buddy, Mr. Guilt by Association. Chase is not responsible for the actions of somebody else, Ryan. That's just such a stretch. It's laughable. And you signed Chase to Holler Boy Records knowing what you know, right? So, yeah, let's hear it.
You heard me right.
To face charges, he raped a 13-year-old girl in Hendersonville.
And that's Chase's fault. How, Ryan? That's Chase's fault. How? That reflects on Chase. How? What was Chase supposed to follow this kid around and say, okay, you appeared in a video with me, so I have to follow you around for the rest of your life and make sure you don't ever commit a crime. Well, it's a damn shame nobody followed Boosie around, knowing he was going to be in a video with you.
Here's this little bitch's mugshot. And when I say little bitch, I mean an actual, literal little bitch. He's 5'4". Look at his mugshot. You get your fucking ass over there to that computer and you take that fucking music video down now. And then I would have said, and then you're going to make a fucking video calling this motherfucker out or I'm going to punch you in the fucking head. And you want to...
Oh, well, how's come, hey, Ryan, I just went and looked, and People's Champ is still up. And Boosie is fixing to be hauled right back into court again for murder, Ryan, murder. Gang hit. Murder.
What is the name on the account and the address, please?
Want to know something else, guys? You're not going to find any pictures of this dude and Chase together.
But I can find pictures of you and Boosie together.
Okay.
Lots of them. I mean, since we're doing the guilt by association game, and Chase is responsible for something some other kid did, then we need to hold you responsible for everything Boosie does, right? Isn't that how that works?
Before this county line video on his fucking social medias anywhere. But guess what was brought to my attention tonight? A fuck ton of pictures and videos of him and this fucking dude touching their ding-dings together, hanging out.
Well, I can find a bunch of videos of you and Boosie together. What does that mean? Who cares, Ryan? Chase would have not known that this... Chase would have had no way of predicting the future that this kid was going to do something he shouldn't do, right? How would he know that? That's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. See, you're doing the same thing the stupid little twerps on Twitter try to do to Republican voters. This is the same thing they try to do. The guilt by association game, and it is so cheap, and it is so tacky, and it is so desperate. Chase couldn't have known, couldn't have had a crystal ball to say later in life, this kid that I'm doing a video with today, later in life is going to do something terrible. And let's be real. The kid's not been convicted yet. He's been accused. He hasn't been convicted. What if he goes, Ryan, what if this kid is acquitted in court and all charges are dropped? Because that was the excuse you used when you featured Boosie, that he beat the case. Well, he beat one. He's got three more. And he's fixing to go to trial on the third one, right? Like in the next month or two. So, and it's murder, Ryan. It's murder. Gang murder. But I see People's Champ is still up. And unlike you, Ryan, okay, see, Chase had no way of knowing what this kid may do tomorrow. But you, when you chose to feature Boosie on People's Champ, you knew what Boosie was accused of. You knew what he was guilty of, and you knew that he openly admitted to hiring a prostitute to rape his own son. So, yeah, let's hear it, Mr. Guilt by Association. I cannot believe you have reduced your brand down to this kind of nonsense just because this kid wants to just advance his career to the next level. He doesn't owe you shit, Ryan. He don't owe you shit. You didn't make him. You helped him a little, but you didn't make him.
Oh, wait, never mind. He's got 2 songs with the guy who raped your 13-year-old girl.
Well, how many songs do you got with Boosie? 2. And the difference is you knew what Boosie was guilty of. Chase couldn't have known that this kid a year later was going to do what he did. He didn't have a crystal ball. Dumbass. And I'm just This is just ridiculous.
Piece of shit. Why is the video still up?
Same reason People's Champ's still up.
Song for 13-year-old girls on TikTok.
Hey, you know, when R. Kelly, did you see Boosie's official statement on R. Kelly? You know, Boosie came out and said that R. Kelly shouldn't have got any prison time because it wasn't like he killed somebody. He just, you know, banged a bunch of underage girls. He didn't kill anybody. So Boosie can't understand why he got such prison time over that. The same thing you're flipping out about right now, okay? That this kid that Chase once had on a video before this kid committed a crime. This kid, you know, statutory raped a 13-year-old, and that's just horrible, right? Only, you know, no way Chase could have known, right? Didn't have a crystal ball. But you knew what Boosie had done when you put him on People's Champ. You knew that Boosie was all over Instagram defending R. Kelly for doing what? Raping underage girls. It's just the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy that lives in Crack Squad is just unbelievable. It's they, you know, they dox people, then they get doxed back, and then they go around calling themselves victims. It's funny to just watch. But this right here, Ryan, I see you right now as small, insignificant, and desperate, because this is such a stretch to try to do a guilt by association when that kid appeared with Chase. That was a full year before this kid committed these so-called crimes. So there's no way Chase could have known, right? I hate to keep repeating myself, but it seems I have to. Okay, you knew what Boosie was about when you did a collab with him. You knew Boosie was a Crip and was guilty of gang related murders. You knew Boosie was a drug dealer. You knew Boosie hired a prostitute to rape his own kid. You knew Boosie was out there defending R. Kelly. You knew all these things. Yeah, you did a video with him anyway.
Because you should have enough morals to fucking get rid of it, because there's a child rapist in the fucking video.
Well, why don't you take People's Champ down? Right.
2, you should take it off for that 13-year-old girl that's got to fucking hear and see that song.
What about the 12-year-old boy that Boosie allowed an adult woman to pay her to molest him?
With that fucking dude in it all the time. But see, your brain don't work like that.
No.
If your friend's got something to say, well, guess what? Yo has big number. That's all you give a fuck about is a big fucking number. You don't care if there's a child rapist running around in it.
You don't care as long as People's Champ got big numbers. You don't care that Boosie's on People's Champ, you know, and turns out he was involved in 2 gang murders, 2 gang hits. Yeah, you didn't care, did you? You didn't care when you put Boosie on People's Champ that you know, he was out there publicly defending R. Kelly for raping underage girls. You knew that Boosie hired a prostitute to molest his own kid. You knew all those things, right? You did a video with him anyway. Chase didn't know any of this.
You run around with your fucking cross tattoo behind your ear and you don't have enough decency to get rid of the video.
While at the same time, you're on your YouTube channel accusing grieving parents of hoaxing their child's death for GoFundMe money, and then punching down at some random woman that never done one single thing to you ever. And then you sit back and you giggle while Crack Squad wreaks havoc on people's lives. And you just think it's all funny and fun and games, you know, because, you know, you got some money. I mean, that was sort of what you said, you know. You kind of looked at all your your decent fans like me, your Christian fans like me, who wouldn't be down with that sort of thing, and told us to go to hell because you could afford to do anything you want. Remember that? Yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
Because of everything I just said. If it was me, I'd delete the video. Hell, why don't y'all all go try to find Broadway girls, dude?
If it was me, I would have never put Boosie on an album with me. Not ever. Not in a million years. Of all the artists you could have picked to do a collab with. You know, funny how Chase Matthews isn't on People's Champ, yet he's signed to your label. Funny how, you know, none of the good people are on there. It's just Boosie. You know, of all the people, it's Boosie that you picked.
It had 50, the Broadway Girls remix with me and Chase. Yeah, it had 50 million views. You know what I did? I fucking deleted it.
Well, yippee-o-ki-yay. That didn't hurt anybody but you, because nobody else was getting anything off of that. Nobody else gets money from your YouTube channel. So, yeah, it didn't hurt anybody but you. Good luck.
Just because I don't like him anymore. He won't even.
We know how you operate. You just did the same damn thing to another guy. You know, you flip on your microphone in public, announce because now you don't like him anymore because he said, now, here's what this guy's guilty of, Mr. I'm Perfect. Okay. The executive producer on your first 3 biggest songs simply said, man, I don't want to see you getting in any trouble over this. That girl's real. You shouldn't be saying she's fake, Ryan. That was his crime. And because of that, you deleted all the music he was ever on and turned on your microphone and bragged about it. And now we see you doing it again. Chase just simply goes to better his career. That article that you were so upset about, I reread it. It didn't say one negative thing about you at all. You all the only mention of you in the entire thing was just that you had signed him to Holler Boy. That's it. The rest of the article was about Chase. So why you were so mad is just mind numbing. Makes no sense because you view it as some attack. And now here we are again. You're deleting another video to try to screw somebody. But the thing of it is, with Broadway Girls, Chase wasn't getting any money from your YouTube channel. That wasn't on Chase's YouTube channel. It was on your YouTube channel. I would argue it should have been on Chase's, but it was on yours. Well, you didn't hurt anybody but yourself on that one. So, hey, good luck.
Even delete his little bitch-ass baby video of 27 million, even though a child rapist is in it. And just to think, your first song with Warner Music Nashville is a song called She Loves Jesus.
Yep. And that's really none of your business, Ryan, what he does with his career, is it? I don't think we need to see any more of this. You know, the guilt by association thing is just about as sleazy as it comes, really. And just, you know, I'm going to reiterate that you knew, Ryan, you knew everything Boosie was accused of. Boosie was currently in court when you featured him on People's Champ. And he was in court for murder. Murder. Gang murder. He's an admitted drug dealer, right? Admitted drug dealer. He's not even ashamed of it. He thinks it's cool. He thinks it gives him clout. He thinks it gives him shtick. You know, so yeah, he's proud of it. Selling that poison to young black kids and ruining their lives with it. So yeah, you knew all that, right? But you put him on your album anyway, and it's still up, right? Then we see Chase, who couldn't have possibly known what a person was going to do a year later. So Chase does a video with a kid, and a year later, when the kid's living in a completely different state, he does something illegal, and you're trying to say that that should ruin Chase's career. It's laughable. And I'm going to argue that even without the Boosie thing that you did, the hypocrisy, you totally guilty of everything you're accusing Ryan of. Nobody cares. Nobody in the music industry cares what you think. This won't have any impact on his career, not one bit. You don't think Warner Brothers knew all this ahead of time? Of course they did. And they're smarter business people than you because they have billions of dollars, not just a couple million. They don't give away used trucks. They give away brand new ones, So, and then they don't like put conditions on them and, come back a year later and throw it up in their face. You remember that time I gave you that? It's not a gift when you do that, Ryan. A gift should be unconditional and be just forgotten about, and should never be used as a weapon. So, yeah. Your whole story about the working guy getting up at 5 a.m. Like that's just some like amazing feat. And it just shows how removed you are from everyday life. Because for I would dare bet 90% of the people watching this video right now have to get up and go to work every day. It's no big deal, man. People do it. I just can't believe there's nobody over there telling you that this shit is not a good idea. This isn't a good look for you.
That's okay.
And it's I can promise you something, Ryan, and I want you to hear me say this. And I'm saying this because I'm older than you and I'm wiser than you. Just because I can't make a hit record don't mean I'm not a wise old bird. This hurts you more than it hurts Chase. Have a nice day, folks.